Canada is a beautiful country. The indigenous peoples are the first settlers in this country. They cared for the land, its resources, and its waters. Water is not just a need. Water is sacred. The indigenous peoples have a spiritual and cultural relationship with it. Canada is a first world country, but the indigenous people, who are the real owners of this land, do not have access to clean water. The indigenous people are getting sick because of the water. In 2010, the United Nations declared water and sanitation as human rights. However, 73% of First Nations water systems are at high risk or medium risk of contamination. The lack of clean, safe drinking water in First Nations is one of the greatest violations of the UN-recognized human rights to water and sanitation. For more than 25 years, some of the First Nations communities across Canada are still on water advisories. A single drinking water advisory means 5,000 people lack access to safe, clean drinking water. The reserves are owned and under the jurisdiction of the federal government, which means that they are responsible for the services and infrastructure on reserves. Water is governed by the provincial and municipal government. In order for the indigenous peoples to get funding, they need to complete a feasibility studies and prepare a project proposal. Then, they have to submit it to Indigenous Services Canada. It takes some time to wait until the study gets picked. Once it's picked, the bidding process happens to let companies bid on contracts. The lowest bidder will get the project, even if the contractor has a bad reputation of not providing high-quality service. This affects the outcome of the project. Even if long-term water advisory is already lifted in one nation, they will still get a short-term water advisory, and the problem with dirty water is not solved. Autumn Peltier fought peacefully for her people to have clean drinking water. Autumn Peltier was born on September 27, 2004. She is an Anishinaabe Indigenous clean water advocate from the Wik-Weng-Kong First Nation on Manitoulin Island. She is Chief Water Protector for the Anishinaabe Nation and has been called a water warrior. Autumn grew up understanding the importance of water and the need to protect it. She also advocates for the universal right to clean drinking water. At the age of 8, Autumn was attending water ceremonies on First Nations reserves. She continues her work for the access of clean water concerning Indigenous people across the world. At the age of 13, she addressed world leaders at the UN General Assembly on the issue of water protection. Her mom and her great-aunt Josephine Mandamin taught her the importance of clean water and respecting the environment. Josephine was known as the Water Walker because she worked as an Anishinaabe Nation Chief Water Commissioner until her death in 2019. Autumn gained national and international notice at the meeting of the Assembly of First Nations. She spoke to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and said, "I'm not happy with the decisions you've made for my people." The Prime Minister promised to solve the water problem by 2021. She received many awards and recognition, like being nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize, Canadian Living Me to We Award Youth in Action Under 12, Ontario Junior Citizens Award, Sovereign Medal of Exceptional Volunteerism, Ottawa Riverkeeper Award, Water Warrior Award, Young Leader Award, Top 30 Under 30 in North America for environmental education making a difference, and she also made it to the list of BBC 100 Women's List, Maclean's list of 20 to watch in 2020, Huffington Post's list of 15 Canadian icons who stole our hearts, Union of Concerned Scientists list of 2019 Science Defenders, Chatelaine 2019 Woman of the Year, and Planet in Focus Rob Stewart Youth Eco Hero Award. The Government of Canada and First Nations are working in partnership to improve access to clean drinking water and lift all long-term drinking water advisories on public systems on reserves as soon as possible. Today, 106 long-term drinking water advisories have been lifted. Now, reliable access to safe drinking water has been restored for 5,920 homes and 447 buildings in 77 communities since November 2015. A lot of work still remains, and projects are underway to address the remaining 53 long-term drinking water advisories in effect in 34 First Nation communities. Let us do our part by supporting the Indigenous peoples like Autumn Pedlayer so all of them can have clean drinking water. We can't eat money or drink oil. We need to protect the habitants around all waters across the world. We need to remember that our ancestors' prayers are still protecting this land. I want my descendants to know I use my voice so they can have a future. We need to join forces with all nations, regardless of color or nationality. Let's do this for our great-grandchildren. We need Mother Earth to live, and we need the waters. When we stand together as one, we are one voice and one nation. Save Our Planet by Autumn Pedlayer.